Hey friends, and welcome back to Stories with the Shepherdess. Hi, long time no chat. There has been so much that has happened. First and foremost, my name is Irina Lawrence Mathias, and I am co-owner and second shepherdess in command of Flying Fibers. The last time I made an episode was back in May of 2019, and we were lambing. We had knit-alongs going on. There was just so much to do, and pretty much nothing has changed, but everything has changed. There's been a pandemic, right? We all know. There has been huge moves. There has been a marriage, a baby. There has been so much to be grateful for. So just a little catch up if you are a follower here and nowhere else, or if you're just stumbling upon looking for some knitting podcasts. Flying Fibers was a yarn shop in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania for over 12 years. And then at the beginning of 2022, we actually moved our shop to the farm. If you remember anything from my prior episodes, the farm is off the grid. Yes, so we have two farms now. April of 2019, my parents found their dream house and dream farm literally 5 minutes up the road from our current, our property. The farm that was off the grid where the sheep were living, but we were commuting to every day. So they put in an offer, it was accepted, and they officially closed and moved in June of 2019. So they have been there for almost 4 years now. My husband and I, at the time my fiance, and I then in February of 2020 closed on and moved on a house that is about 15 minutes from my parents' property further into the county that we live in. So I was able to, stop at their house, pack up the farm truck, take care of the property that was 5 minutes down the street, and then go into work at the yarn shop in Landisville, Lancaster County, right? And so that was so wonderful and so great, and it was lovely. And then the pandemic happened and we were super busy. I was running doorstep deliveries during the pandemic when we couldn't be open. We were still farming, but my mom took on pretty much all of that because we didn't know enough about COVID and there wasn't a vaccine at the time. And so I just kept my distance, and I was just running the shop and she was running the farm. In that time frame, my fiance and I got married. We did a COVID wedding where we had just our parents and siblings standing at one end and the pastor and us standing at the other end. We just kept pivoting and trying to grow, and we were trying to do more events at the farm, and it was just life just is crazy. And then my husband and I found out that we were expecting, which was such a wonderful thing, and we were really excited. So our sweet daughter Ksenia was born in December of 2021, which feels wild to me that a year and more has already passed with that. But we knew that it was the time. So in August of 2021, we had the base of a building delivered, and we built a retail shop on the farm because with the commute and the managing the other property and just COVID really pushing a lot of stuff to be online or very experience-based, we just knew that we had finally outgrown the shop that we were in for 12 years. And so in January of 2022, Flying Fibers 2.0 opened its doors in Wrightsville, Pennsylvania. And we have never been happier. And we're also still just as busy, if not busier. And it's wonderful because my daughter gets to grow up on the farm. She gets to grow up around animals, and we get to show our customers the perfect corner of the world that we live in and love so much. So yeah, and it's a fully functioning yarn shop. We have all of the same stuff we did. We still have all of our roving, the spinning wheels. We have the Chowgoo needles, Cocoa Knits Notions, all Brooklyn Tweed yarn, Kilborn Woolens yarn, all of that stuff. It's just in the most adorable custom built shop ever. So we had a company deliver the just bare bones to us, and then my parents completely fitted out the entire interior themselves while I was super heavily pregnant and running the other shop in Landisville. So yeah, I hope that wasn't boring. So I want to get back into video casting because I think it's a really important way, and just like a nice little like, let's sit down and have some coffee, grab your knitting, cozy up, you know. I think it's important for us to connect this way. Social media is great, and I think this is another really wonderful option to connect with all of you. So usually I break these up into flock talks, what's on my needles, and shop talk. So I think I'm just gonna give like a little brief overview. With flock talk, we are getting ready to shear at the end of the month. We have a Patreon now, which I think we maybe did when I was still doing these, but we have a Patreon. So my patrons know that I've been skirting fleeces like crazy, stuff that just didn't make it to the mill the last time we dropped off a batch. And so I have been doing all of that, which is wonderful. But then we shear, and so I got to skirt all of that and get it up to the mill so that we have it back in time for Rhinebeck, which is like so crazy because it feels like we just, you know, just did it all. So we're going to be shearing right now. I think last time we talked, we were only running about 20 head of sheep, and now that we have 2 properties, we're up to 35, but that's definitely like our limit. We are expecting lambs this spring, so that will be super exciting. We also added lavender farming to our list of things that we do. So right now our farm hosts 300 plants, lavender plants. We have a big field in front of the parking spaces at the shop, and then we also have a hedge that runs down along the pasture, and we have another 300 plugs arriving from the greenhouse in the spring, which we're so excited for. So we'll have about 600 plants, depending on how things winter and stuff. So it's like so much. So this year we bred so that the lambs would be born like middle to end of May into the beginning of June, and then that way you get to the lambs bounce around while you admire the lavender when you come visit the farm and the shop. So that's really exciting. We have a lot of Shetland sheep now, like crazy. And we also still have our Wensleydales and our Leicester Longwools. But yeah, the Shetlands are like really cool and very easy to, you know, farm and grow and work with. So that's really exciting. So that was just a little flock talk. It's currently nap time for my little one. So I'm gonna do just like a short little re-intro video like this. But then I hope to film these when my mom can watch the baby. So I'll be able to go a little bit more in depth like I used to. So yeah, and then what's on my needles? I haven't really been knitting. I just designed 2 little things, one with my mom and then one by myself. We did a winter gift box this past season, and so I decided to design the fireside shawl. So that's up on Ravelry now as a digital download, and then we just released the Victorian heart wristlets. My mom designed the actual colorwork pattern, and then I designed the wristlet pattern, and we combined it, and it looks lovely. So that was a really fun foray back into knitting. I look forward to knitting more. My big accomplishment postpartum was I knit a Sophie scarf by Petite Knit out of some of our Gus Scout Celeste long wool luxury yarn. So that was like really lovely, and we just got a huge restock from the mill. So if you want to make a Sophie scarf out of some of our flock yarn, you should totally grab some. We are hosting a Marley Madness knit along to go along with March Madness. It should be good. It's a good way for me to get back into knitting, just the small projects before I commit to the larger ones. So we hope that you join us for that as well. There's just like so much going on, but I want to keep you guys current. I don't want to have to give too much back history. But of course, if you ever have any questions about like, hey, what happened in the last 4 years, like reach out, send me a message on Instagram, comment below here. You know, we are moving and ready and just constantly pivoting. So a little brief what's on my needles, nothing currently, but I just finished a bunch of stuff and I'm excited to cast on my Marley cowl. And so yeah, that is just what's been going on. In terms of shop talk, huge flock yarn restock just hit the shelves and hit online. We had our Yorkshire medley yarn. Also in the time that I haven't talked to you, we have We've added 2 new lines, Yorkshire Medley Light, which is a fingering weight, same Blueface Leicester Wensleydale blend. We also introduced a new yarn, Seedale, which is a Manx locked-in Wensleydale blend. It's a worsted weight. That was featured in the most recent issue of Lane magazine in the solitaire sweater by our fantastic friend Rachel Brockman, who I've talked about a few times here. And yeah, we just have, there's a lot going on, but we also just are super we're just excited about the sense of calm that we have about everything. So I'm gonna leave you with that. It's a short, wonderful, rainy day. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm up in our bedroom. It's a short, wonderful, rainy day update, and I can't wait for you all to keep joining us. I'm gonna try to do these once a month. I don't want to get crazy. Maybe if I have more time, I'll do them more often. I'm a working, farming mom. I have the best support system that is there, but it's also just me and my mom running the whole business. And we have so much fantastic things going on, and I can't wait for you to follow along with them. So thank you guys for this gentle foray back into stories with the Shepherdess, and I can't wait for you to keep joining us. All right, happy crafting.